I apologize for my appearance and my sweat. I seem to be a little warm right now due to I was bit by a black widow. And no, not this black widow by Spectrum. No, this time I was bitten by the mythical Black Widow by Spectrum airbrush. And with a little cinema magic, I'm going to do an unboxing and show you a little bit of the airbrush as you're going to get it from Harbor Freight, and talk about real quick the features. And then eventually I'm going to do a video. I'm actually going to use it. Imagine that, buying something and using it, and give you an honest review opinion of this airbrush. So let's go ahead and roll that intro and get right into the video, the unboxing, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, stay tuned. Okay, so now we've got set up here. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way. This will be another unboxing, which is gonna be very cool. So let's go ahead. First off, let's start off by take a look at the box that this comes in. Very nice quality colored box with our description of what is on there with your parts for your airbrush. Let's go ahead, open it up here. Put the box over here, and then this comes here with your owner's manual, and it probably goes through your parts breakdown list, which I won't go over it. You can go over it when you buy one. And let's see, nice little slide open, some nice little retention clip there, so it stays locked. Slide it, open it up. Some nice durable, and that's some heavy duty. Here it looks like we probably have like a little bit of a needle lube. And let's pop this bad boy out. And there you go. There is the main body of your airbrush. It's definitely got a little bit of weight to it. Trigger's not too bad. Not a whole lot of tension there. I figured, sorry about that. I was worried that the tension might be a little bit draggy, but it's not too bad. Probably could use a little bit of adjustment, lube it, but. So the main thing I saw on an early review is this thing can be kind of a pain in the butt to get off. So let's try to see how difficult it's going to be for us. Try not to knock my tripod over here. And yeah. Okay, there you go. And that's off. I'll probably leave that off because just kind of like that on my airbrushes. So there's your main body. You come with a quick disconnect, which is always nice to have. I run that on all my airbrushes just because I like to click them in and out as fast as I can if I'm doing like multiple colors and using multiple brushes. So you'll need to get it in like this, the female end for your airbrush hose. If you're not familiar, they basically work just like that, click it in, it's in. Got air. And there you go. There you go. You got your MAC valve here, so you can adjust your air pressure in and out at the nozzle level. So that's so you can adjust paint flow. If you want to go for different effects, you can use that too. 2 different cup sizes. This is pretty cool. If you're doing larger jobs, may want a little bit more paint. Let's fit this in. And it's got some pretty nice coating on there. You can see a little bit in the cup here. We've got a little bit of coating inside the cup. We'll see how that holds up. A little bit inside the lid here. It's got a nice positive retention on your lid, so you may not accidentally knock it off. And you've got your smaller cup here. Same thing on your cups here. We got a little bit of coating inside there. A little bit on the lid here too. You can see we're in production. You know, they just run these things through. So, yeah, you just, and the nice thing about, I like about removable cups is if you're just doing a small job, you can just kind of drop a couple drops in there if you don't need a whole lot of paint. But yeah, just screw the cup on there just like that. There you go. Also comes with a cool 2 needle size. So let's see what this size is. So this is the 2.0. You guys can see that. This is the 2.0 needle, which I would imagine this will probably be my 2.0 needle set as far as my cap and my nozzle. So there you go. There's your nozzle setup. Seems like it's kind of the new feature. It's very similar looking to some of the other brands out there. And then you have a different style castle nut or castle cap for the needle protection cap there. That one's a little bit more open than the crown cap that's on there now. So it should come already. I believe the one that's in there already is going to be your 5.0 needle, or your 0.5 needle. So you have a 0.5 and a 0.2, which is pretty good. So you would use a 0.2 if you're getting new in airbrush and you're picking this up. Is good for detail. If you're going for really fine lines, maybe hair detail, skin textures, things like that where you real precision thin lines, that will be the one right there. The 5.0 is more probably like your standard large coverage, putting down some base coats, base colors, base period. Be that. So let's go ahead, and what I want to do is, well, we'll just go ahead and take it apart. And your tail cap there, which is kind of cool. It's nice right there. You see Black Widow. Needles out. Now let's just see how this whole thing comes apart. So they're going to be, this is a little bit different compared to disassembling like your Iwata style airbrushes. So we got crown caps right there. You want to change them. It's your air and needle cap. Nozzles. So there you go. got your nice Teflon ring for fitment, for secure fitment, so that it doesn't get any air blow by. It's airtight. Let's see if you can see in there. If you can kind of see the air chambers where the air runs. You got 3 of them on there. Kind of a cool little brass color. And all right, it looks like, so you have some knurling here, and it looks like you can take this piece off, but in all actuality, it looks like it's solid piece made straight into the airbrush. It's just one piece body. So let's fit this back in. Fit that in. So if you're going to change out your needle set, so you would take your needle out and then you would just change this whole assembly one piece together. Of course, you can interchange your crown caps as you see fit. A lot of times, 99.9% of the times, I do not run that cap on there. I'll just put this back on. I'm curious if they give you a tool to take this down any further. Because I feel like this piece might be really part of that airbrush too. And that's solidly in there. Sometimes airbrush companies would like to give you tools for when you want to service your brushes and tear them down and do a full complete clean. Let's just see. All right, it does not feel like there's, yeah, that's okay. So this piece is part solid into the case. It feels like it's maybe glued in. So let's just take a quick look. Let's open this up and see if there's anything in there. So if you see on the back 2 pages, it does have a parts list, parts description, and it does have your exploded view of your parts breakdown. And it does look like this whole tail assembly does come off. So we will go around that. I don't have any soft plier jaws right now here to take this off, but it does look like it comes apart. Also, if you notice on the tail cap, you do have your needle adjustment here. So what that does is adjust how far back you can actually pull that needle. So if you're a beginner, you know, you can play around with it where you like it, to where you don't come out full blast spraying. As you progress, you start getting comfortable with your trigger control, and you will learn to, you know, how you like to paint, how your trigger flows, how you pressure you put on your trigger. So we will just want to pull this off again and look. Check it out. I just want to test this real quick. Give me just 1 second. So yeah, I just off camera just took some pliers real quick. I didn't want the haters to jump in here because I did not use soft plier jaws on it, but just kind of broke it loose. And this unscrews. This whole assembly pulls out. And then your trigger assembly pulls out, and there you go. It's pretty interesting. Now, if you look at your normal trigger from some of your Iwatas and your Iwata clones, get this, you have your pin trigger here. So this little pin goes down inside the body of the airbrush, and this is what will activate the air valve. So you can see that down in there, that little hole down in there, that's where this ball on this trigger will go down in there. And then on the Iwatas too, they have a little cutout to kind of where the trigger sits on the body. This you'll see, you can tell how the way the screws is for your trigger finger to sit on. So then this just slides into these grooves. Now you can, if you want to take this down even further, get to the spring, take this piece off, and there you go. You're to your spring, to your needle guide housing. There we go. We just screw that back on. Doesn't really, this looks like this just goes in there. No, there's really no notches or guides. It doesn't look like to where this lines up. So that's pretty good. You can pretty much foolproof going back in. Needles back in. Back together, and there you go on the assembly, which is pretty much self-explanatory and easy. So the trigger is a little bit, it is a little bit weird as far as how tall it is. Let me just pull up one of my Iwatas real quick. This trigger is a lot shorter. And even though it's dirty, it is a little smoother. So we can just, I'm very sorry about knocking the camera. So we can probably go in here and lube this a little bit, work it in, but you do feel some of the dragging as you start pulling back compared to your Iwatas. This is definitely a smoother trigger compared to this here is a Gallery. It's a little bit more pressure than your Iwatas pulling the trigger back. Yeah, I have some cleaner in there, but, and this trigger rocks back pretty simple too. So if we put these kind of side by side, see if we can see. Let's see if you can tell. You notice it's not a huge difference on the trigger, but it is definitely longer, taller, and it does sit back a little bit further. Let's put a cup on there. Maybe you'll notice the difference in, if you look how the triggers sit, this trigger is almost more straight up and down compared to some of your, well, compared to your Iwatas. Your Iwata sits a little bit more forward at a more forward angle. You're a lot closer to the cup trigger finger. This one here, look, you can see the space difference. So that's some pretty good space in between my trigger. So what I'm going to do now is work with this. I'm going to work with this on some art, kind of test it out, take it for a test drive, kind of see how I like it overall. And yeah, I dropped that. See how I like it overall. And you know, I'm going to start using this for a little while, put it through its paces. Kind of curious about this finish because it's supposed to be a, what does it say? It's a quick clean. So as it says here on the box, quick clean gun body, so limited downtime. We'll see exactly what that means. If you're familiar with the Spectrum Black Widow guns, which are, in my opinion, amazing for the price. They went really viral the last couple of years. The coating's pretty nice as far as cleaning them off. I'm sure using like your water-based Createx style paints, these are probably easy to clean. Going with your urethane bases, we'll have to wait and see. But yes, so I'm going to run this. I'm going to test it out so I can get like a real full-blown review on it and opinion. And we will do another video here shortly of what I think about it. So far, it seems like it's a decent brush. Retails at your Harbor Freight for $69 and some change. I want to say I spent $75.96. I think that's what it was. I'll have to look at the receipt. $75.96 with tax out the door. I did have to go to the counter and ask for this because they didn't have it on the shelf, and I did get the last one, or the only one that they had in stock at this particular Harbor Freight by my job. And but we'll check it out. I'm kind of stoked. I know that like I said, their paint guns work really well. So I'm really hoping that the airbrush sprays really well too. So in the future, actually, I kind of want to do is maybe put it up side by side against some of your different brands of your brushes, like your Iwatas, maybe some Masters, some Creos, the gallery brushes, which kind of exploded on the social media market here at the end of 2023. And yeah, we will go from there. So guys, if you like the video, go ahead, subscribe, and hit that like button and notification button. Let me know. If you want to see this airbrush put up against another airbrush, let me know, and we can compare them. And until next time, rock on.